Hi, Ayushman. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Hi.
Okay, so can you tell us a little about your professional background?
Yeah, sure. So in 2016, I graduated in mining engineering from IIT ISM Dhanbad, and post that I dived straight into entrepreneurship and started my own e-commerce store of artificial jewelry and handicrafts from Jaipur, Rajasthan. I have been working full time on my startup from last 2.5 years, and presently 8 people are working full time for Shilpi Crafts. And also, being an entrepreneur, I have wore multiple hats, be it digital marketing or inventory management or leading a team of artisans.
Okay, so how did the idea of you wanting to do an MBA come about?
Yeah, actually, as I mentioned earlier, like with no formal business education or family background in business, I started my own company. And after around 2 years, I felt that my startup, that Shilpi Crafts, has achieved a decent success. But now I think it has reached a plateau of success beyond which I'm not able to scale it up further with my existing knowledge and skills. And hence, my professional growth reached an impasse. And that's why I felt the need of acquiring the formal business knowledge in a structured manner. And that's why doing an MBA was the next logical step for me.
Right, right. Okay, so then obviously the first step in this journey would have been your GMAT.
Yeah.
Can you just take us through that, from the preliminary research phase where you had to find out, okay, what is the GMAT about and what the course is like, things like that. Can you just take us through it?
Yeah, sure. So in 2015, I researched GMAT for the first time. Like I was still in college, and the first two websites that I browsed through for gaining insights about GMAT or MBA was gmathclub.com and MBA.com. And like I didn't prepare much in my very first GMAT attempt, and I did all the Manhattan guides and took some official mock test. And in June 2015, I took the GMAT for the first time and scored 660. So definitely, I was not satisfied with my score, and specifically my verbal, that was V29. So I decided to retake it later. And in 2018, when I thought it was right to retake the GMAT, I started researching courses specifically to improve my verbal score. And after reading a lot of positive reviews about eGMAT, I signed up for their online course. And after, like, I took around 4 months to complete their course. And in June 2018, I took the GMAT again, and I scored 680. And at that time, my score split was Q51 and V30. So I just witnessed a 1 point improvement in the verbal. So it was not satisfactory for me. So definitely, like, I had decided to retake the GMAT, and like to improve my verbal score and consequently my overall GMAT score, I started looking for courses that like that guaranteed the verbal score improvement. And through, like, upon search on the YouTube channel, I found videos of Arun sir, and those videos actually fascinated me a lot, and I was really impressed by the way he explained the answers and the way he gave reasoning for his answers. So impressed by his lectures, I signed up for the CrackVerbal course, and after around 2 months of preparation, I retook the GMAT in August 2018 and saw a 40 score improvement in my GMAT score, and I scored 720. And the score split was Q51 and V35. So actually, it proved very fruitful for me.
Okay, and that's it. Very impressive. So after that, obviously we have the application. How did you
Mhm.
start with that?
Yeah, like I took my GMAT in August and I took my TOEFL in September. So I had around 1 month for round one application deadlines for most of the schools. So I knew that I'm writing the essays for the first time and most probably for the last time. So I knew that like taking the guidance from experts would benefit me a lot. So I started researching for MBA application services, and I came across multiple MBA application services, and I chose ultimately CrackVerbal because a particular point really impressed me, that a professional mentor would be assigned to you in the process, would be guiding you throughout the MBA application process. So that's why I signed up for the CrackVerbal application services.
Okay. And how did you shortlist your universities? Because that's usually the first phase, right?
Mhm.
So how did you approach that?
Yeah, after I got my GMAT score of 720, like I searched through schools who had average GMAT from 690 to 720, and then I saw that I realized that I wanted to go into consulting post MBA, and so I saw that like which schools are particularly good in placing the international candidates into consulting field. So using that principle, I shortlisted few schools, and in round one I applied to Foster, W.P.Carey, and Ross Business School, and few more. And in round two again I applied to three more schools. So
Hmm.
at present I have admit from Michigan State University with 65% scholarship and graduate assistantship offer, and I have admit from Arizona State University with 100% scholarship and graduate assistantship offer.
Amazing. Okay. So what was it like working with a mentor at CrackVerbal?
Yeah, so when I signed up for the application services at CrackVerbal, Shrikala was assigned to me as my mentor, and
Okay.
I consider myself very lucky to have Shrikala as my mentor. She was very helpful throughout the process. And initially, like before signing for the application services, I had this perception that I'll tell my story to my mentor, and then mentor will write essays on my behalf to present the best version of myself to the admission committee. But actually, it was not the case. What really happened was I told my stories and all my achievements to Shrikala. She gave me guidelines to highlight the few particular points and to write the story in an impactful manner. And then she asked me to write the first draft. I was actually amazed because I didn't expect it this initially. But after modifying the drafts for 5 6 times, the final story was ready. And when I compared the final essay with the first draft, I was really very happy because the final essay truly reflected myself, and it actually helped me a lot in tackling the tricky questions in the interviews. Because in interviews they ask you very detailed questions, and if you have not written the essays yourself, then it will be very difficult for you to answer such questions. And also Shrikala has been very supportive. Like for instance, for Arizona State University the deadline was approaching, so she even worked with me on Sundays. So it was really like helpful and supportive from her side, and it was clearly visible that she was truly invested in my success, and I'm really thankful to her for the same.
That's really nice. Okay. This is because your story is not normal, Ayushman. I mean, looking at the offers you've got, you obviously did
Mhm.
something right. I mean, it could have been your interviews or your essays or even your application, but this is
Mhm.
this is the kind of application people strive for. So in this entire journey, right, from you first, knowing that you want to do an MBA to actually
Mhm.
getting into one of the universities,
Mhm.
throughout this journey you would have had some personal reflections, or some
Yeah.
you would have developed some advice for your peers who also want to do the same thing in the future. So what
Mhm.
reflections and advice would you give them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So throughout my process, I learned three big lessons, which I want every GMAT aspirant to focus on these three lessons specifically. So the first is stay grounded throughout the process. Like it is not the end of the world if you get a low score on your first GMAT attempt, or you get five rejections in your round one applications. And like it is not even final even if you get a very high score on the GMAT, or if you get first three admits in the round one. So stay grounded and keep your mind and thoughts under control throughout the process. It will help you a lot in your interviews, in your applications, in your GMAT exam. And the second lesson that I have learned is work hard consistently in the right direction. Like obviously there is no substitute for hard work, but in the GMAT journey, that hard work the consistency of the hard work has to be maintained over a very long period of time. Like for me, right from when I registered for the GMAT exam till I got the admit from Arizona State University, it was almost an 12-month process. So you have to maintain that consistent hard work throughout the process. And the third lesson is invest in yourself or your preparation. Like I have seen, it is particularly the mentality of the Indian students, like they try to find the PDFs of the official guides, or they try to find the free lectures, free videos online, and they try to grab the most out of the YouTube videos. It is helpful, but in like in this GMAT world, the competition is fierce. So diligently invest in yourself, be it buying the official guides, or signing up for the GMAT courses, or taking the expert guidance for application services. For instance, right from like I registered for my GMAT exam till I got the admit, I invested around 4 lakhs in the entire process, including the application services, all the GMAT and TOEFL fees, score reporting, everything. And I got a scholarship of around 82 lakhs. So my return, like investment was 4 lakhs and return was 82 lakhs. So the return is phenomenal and unparalleled. And the experience, MBA experience that I'll be getting from the Arizona is surely rewarded, and it is unparalleled. So by this, like I mean to say that invest diligently in yourself and your preparation, and keep your mind open towards improving your profile and taking expert guidance.
Okay, that's really good advice, and I'm
Yeah,
sure a lot of people will benefit from it.
yeah,
Ayushman, I just want to thank you so much for getting on a call with us and sharing all these experiences. And
yeah. It's my pleasure.
we really hope the very best for you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.